I want to make sure that we can continue to talk very freely and frankly to the Australian people, and if we do that, then I think we can win the next election, but there's a lot of hard work between now and then. We have, I think, a Prime Minister who is living in a parallel universe at the moment. The Prime Minister says that essentially families have never had it better off because inflation's off a bit, but all of these prices are up. For people in the Jewish community and right across the country now, Australians are watching their Prime Minister knowing that he's out of his depth and knowing that he's not up to the task, particularly in relation to law and order and keeping our country safe. The first charge of a Prime Minister is to keep our people safe. And the Prime Minister has failed at that basic task. People in Jewish communities are really living in fear at the moment, and yet in the Prime Minister's discussion yesterday with his caucus, he never mentioned anti-Semitism once, even though it is a national crisis in our country and it's indicative of further problems, obviously, right across society. So I want to make sure that we can take the decisions that are required, including minimum mandatory sentencing for people who commit terrorist attacks. I want a very clear message to be heard by anybody who has evil in their heart that we have absolute zero tolerance for anti-Semitism. When I was Immigration Minister and Home Affairs Minister, we cancelled 6,300 visas of people who had committed serious crimes against Australian citizens. And the government has dropped the ball in relation to that important issue. I think we need to have a strong approach to keeping our country safe, to making sure that we can stamp out anti-Semitism, and we don't do that by trying to pander to the left and to the Greens. When you look at what the Prime Minister is doing on energy policy at the moment, which is a complete train wreck, when you look at what they're doing on housing, they've created a housing crisis through their migration and economic policies. When you look at what they've done in the economy, they've created an economic crisis. That has been the 2.5 years of the Albanese government, and there is a much better way ahead for us, and that's exactly what we will communicate to the Australian people over the course of the next 2.5 years. So thank you so much for all the work you've done. A lot of hard work ahead, and let's go forward. Whenever the election is called, we're prepared to fight and to take the fight up to the government, but most importantly to lay out our plans to help families, to help small businesses and to help our country get back on track. Thank you very much.